0, Gergen. Batting 6, number 34, Rachal. Batting 7th, number 1, Kale. Batting 8th, number 27, Hernandez. Batting 9th, number 25, Reed. And the flex for today is number 14, Carson. And now the starting lineup for your Bryan College Lady Lions. Leading off for the Lions and playing center field from Knoxville, Tennessee, number 10, Savannah Beard. Batting second from Chapel Hill, Tennessee, your right fielder, number 1, Addison Bunty. Playing first and batting third from Dunlap, Tennessee, number 3, Callie Green. Hitting cleanup from Westmoreland, Tennessee, the Lions catcher, number 30, Aubrey Presley. Your fifth batter, playing shortstop from Hartsville, Tennessee, number 8, Maddie Lee. The starting pitcher from Lenoir City, Tennessee, batting 6th, Denver Hogan. Batting 7th from Helendale, California, number 37, Juliana Santianes. Batting 8th from Knoxville, Tennessee, the designated hitter, number 99, Brianna Bumgarner. And batting 9th and playing third from Mount Juliet, Tennessee, number 44, Savannah Schaefer. Playing second today for the Lions from Mossheim, Tennessee, number 11, Madison Carpenter. The Lions are coached by Leah and Nathan Thompson. If you'll stand and please remove your caps for a word of prayer followed by the national anthem. Father God, thank you for today and thank you for the ability to come out and enjoy this weather and play the wonderful game of softball. We pray for traveling mercies for anybody that's came to the game today. We pray, Lord, that you would be with each and every one of the players, keep them free and safe from injury. We pray, Lord, on the field and off the field that we would honor you with all we say and do, and it would be an example, Lord, to live a life that's glorifying to you. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Welcome into the campus of Bryan College. Between the visiting Montreat College Lady Cavaliers and your Bryan College Lady Lions. Looks to be a good one. The weather's turned out great. It's warm. Denver Hogarth on the mound
for your Lions against number 42, the leadoff batter, Abby Wyatt for the Cavaliers. And we'll get underway with a ball high for a 1-0 count for Denver Hogriff. Joining me on the broadcast, getting set up here in a few minutes, is my good friend Drew Roberts. I am Jordan Day, assistant baseball coach and part-time commentator for the Lions. And Drew's going to join me. We did some soccer games, some basketball games together, so good to be back on the broadcast for the first time this spring as we see a 2-0 swinging strike from Denver Hogriff.
Tell you, we've really done it all now, haven't we, Jordan?
We're back in it, yep. I don't get many opportunity in the spring as we see a really good pitch on the outside corner by Hogriff to even the count 2-2 against the leadoff batter, right fielder Wyatt. Looks to go back out there, extends the zone just a bit, misses. She's trying to establish to see what she's going to be able to get with this umpire behind the plate. Runs the count full 3-2, and the pitch looks like she fought off down the line. It's going to be fair. Santianas in the corner looking to throw her out at second. Wyatt's going to slide in safely with a leadoff double for the Cavs. Not much of a better start that they could get as I was trying to running a little ragged earlier because they asked me late to do the announcing for the starting lineup, so you may have heard me there. But we've got a wonderful tilt today. Bryan 12-4 in the conference standings, coming in at third, actually, well, tied for second on win percentage against the number 6 Montreat Cavaliers. So both teams are playing really good softball right now. Looks to be a great matchup as we're going to see a sac bunt by Hernandez. What a bunt that is. And I think she was willing to give herself up there, but the placement of the bunt down the left or the third baseline was perfect. And the Cavs have got a great start here. Runners at first and third and no outs to start the game. That'll bring up number 40. That is Maggie Knight, the first baseman. Maggie hitting .368 on the year with 12 doubles and 2 home runs, so really having an unreal offensive year. And the energy out of the Cavs dugout is at a good level as they've first and third, no outs to start the game. Hogriff throws a strike there to even the count 1-1 as she looks to try to get the first out of this inning.
Cavs have come out firing here a lot of times this year. It's Bryan that sees the early momentum. They'll get on the board first, but the Cavaliers looking to flip that script on its head today, and they're very nearly done so here early.
Two-one just misses up. Looks like this umpire behind the plate is not going to give that upper part of the zone. It looks good from where we're at. We have a pretty good angle. We're only about 15 feet behind the umpire as you see a check swing and a strike call, I believe, on the pitch, but I think that Knight may have actually offered it that as well to run this count 3-2. So the Cavs doing a good job of getting the pitch count. They're running some counts deep early on Hogriff here. See if she can get a big K to start this game. As she misses just down and away, and that's going to load the bases with no outs for the Cavaliers and bring up number 22, Haley Fetke. Hope I'm saying that right. Don't have a pronunciation guide in front of me.
Sounds good.
It depends. We'll probably switch it up. You know me. It's whatever pops in my brain when I look down, and that's going to be a great pitch, leadoff strike for Denver Hogriff. Haley Fetke, .323 on the year, 6 doubles, 6 home runs, so a power threat. We got a little bit of wind blowing in today. Our park here at Bryan is a little bit bigger than most as we're going to see a 1-0 foul ball. Denver Hogriff quickly ahead 0-2 here to Fetke, but we'll see what that wind does. I know Montreat, looking at their lineup, they've hit 22 home runs on the year and have the middle of their order really has some home run numbers. As we see a unreal 0-2 pitch dotted on the corner and a big, much-needed strikeout for Denver Hogriff.
Good job.
Now we're a double play away, and hopefully we can get another one right here, and Denver can kind of erase this early lead as we get I believe number 0. That is Elizabeth Gergen. Fouled that ball off of her, looked like her front leg. Hogriff ahead 1-0, 1 out in the first, bases loaded, full of Cavaliers. And Denver Hogarth has thrown a changeup in the front door there, 0-2 quickly ahead. She went outside on the 0-2 last time. You got to think she may waste one here and see if she can get a chase. She goes back away, just misses off the corner. Good pitch, though, especially when you're ahead 0-2. You don't want to give up a hit in that scenario. The wind in the pitch, that ball is laced down the left field line. It's going to be fair. Santiana's quick to it, but that's going to score 2 Cavaliers. And they're going to take the first lead of the game here in the top of the first inning, 2-0 on a single by the catcher, Elizabeth Gergen. Number 34 now up in the 6 hole for the Cavs. That will be Jasmine Rashal. Swing and a miss. Ahead 0-1 is Hogarth. Rochelle, excuse me. I've got pronunciations now. Chase Green hard at work right beside me and Drew here, making sure that we don't upset too many families with butchered pronunciations. Yeah. I think they give me a little bit of leeway when they hear the accent. They're like, this guy's never really been that far out of Dayton, Tennessee before.
I don't think they give me the same courtesy.
No. Well, you're a professional.
Well, I'm just hanging out. I'm just a fly on the wall today. And I think we're sitting at 2-1 here. 2-2 now with the foul tip. Not often you see both teams go to a shade of yellow in the same game.
And that's a pop-up there. You heard the umpire maybe on our stream. I don't know if we could hear him. The infield fly, batters out with the runners at first and second and 1 out there, the infield fly. That's the second out of the inning, and Denver Hogarth looks to minimize and see if she can get this third out and get the Lions on offense. The hitter is number 1, Dayton Kell. She takes a ball inside and low to jump ahead in the count 1-0. Looked like a good pitch to hit. Kell fouls it straight back. Counts 1-1. The Cavs have come in with some momentum. They're playing really well in the conference. Coach Corbin Weeks used to coach baseball for the Cavs. I coached against him for a few years. He's now jumped to softball and has done a good job. And you can see his fingerprint pretty much throughout the roster. And we'll talk about this at length, I'm sure, here across the next couple games. But a lot of junior college transfers. He's hit the recruiting trail hard and has really transformed the roster, and it's a little bit of a new look for the Cavs, and we're seeing in the standings that it's paying off for them as they come into this game. Overall in the league, 12-6, 24-12 overall. That's good for 6th in the league. Hogarth, 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and she minimizes, but the Cavs get 2 in the first. After starting out with the bases loaded, no outs, I think we'll take it, but Lions will be back to hit here in the home half in just a second. We'll be right back with the Lions Radio Network. Leading off in the home half of the first for your Lions, we'll go down the lineup quickly. Leading off, playing center field, number 10, Savannah Beard. Number 2, in the 2-hole, Addison Bunty, playing right field, number 1. In the 3-hole, number 3, playing first base, Callie Green. in the cleanup spot. Our catcher today, number 30, Aubrey Presley. Maddie Lee playing shortstop and batting 5th. Denver Hogriff doing the pitching, batting 6th. Juliana Santillanes batting 7th in left field as we see a really, really good play down the line by the left fielder, number 22. That's Haley Fetke. On a foul ball, she ran full speed into the fence but is able to hold on, and that's a good start for the Cavs. Back to the lineup, number 8 in the 8 spot, Brianna Bumgarner. She's doing the DHing today, and Savannah Schaefer in the 9, playing third base, with Madison Carpenter playing second as the flex for your Lady Lions. But a good, kind of a contrast of starts there, Drew. They loaded the bases quickly, and then they come out and they make a really good play on defense to get the first out of the inning.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Savannah went to the same spot. It went foul. An excellent play by the left fielder to get that ball, and she might have damaged the ballpark in the process.
I think so. Yeah, it looks like we may have lost some fence cap down there.
Outside corner.
On the mound for your Cavs, number 14. Or excuse me, yeah, that's 14. That is Rebecca Carson doing the pitching today. She's thrown 78 innings on the year with a 2.5 ERA, so done a really good job as we see a single up the middle by Addison Bunty to get the offense started for your Lions. But Rebecca Carson for the Cavs had a really good year. She's 8-3 overall, 78 innings to the tune of a 2.5 ERA, so has done a great job. Not a ton of strikeouts, 33 strikeouts to 9 walks, so she's not going to put you on for free, but she's not going to K you, so it should be decent for our offense because we have hit the ball really well this year.
Yep.
She's going to force contact probably early as we see Addison Bunty not waste any time taking off and stealing second. And that's one thing that I've seen, just coaching baseball a little tougher to get out during the season, but being around the softball team this year, a lot more athletic across the board and a lot more offensive. And I think both of those things probably pretty exclusive to each other, that we're just a lot more of a threat in a lot of different ways, which is nice.
Yeah. And the coaches are allowed to be more aggressive now. They don't have to – there's not, what-if scenarios of what's going to go wrong if this happens. They've got confidence in their players. They can send certain players almost every time to second base.
Callie Green takes a ball for a 3-0 count. Interesting to see with her hitting in the 3-hole if they're going to give her the green light. I would assume probably early in the game that she's taking this pitch. And she does take a strike down the middle, 3-1. She's still ahead. The one thing that Callie's done this year is really just she's honestly exploded offensively.
Yep.
Numbers are a lot better. Extra base hits are up, averages up. She's done a really good job. She's really versatile, and she's a great athlete. I know she's kind of played a little bit of everywhere as we see a ball fouled back right over the home bleachers to run the count 3-2.
Nice job by Carson here to get it back to full, not putting 2 people on. Going to make her work for it.
Yeah, we said with 78 innings and only 9 walks. So I assume she is going to be able to find the zone more than she's not. And we see a ball thrown in and jammed Callie a bit as she grounds out 3 unassisted for the second out of the inning. Bunty does move up to third. And we will see our cleanup hitter and best offensive performer of the year so far, Aubrey Presley, step to the plate. Aubrey leads the team in multiple categories, but it's hitting .414, 4 doubles, 4 home runs. The average and the home runs are unreal. What a play by the Cavs shortstop, Dayton Kale, laying out to the 5-hole to rob Aubrey Presley of a single and an RBI, and a good start in the first inning on both fronts for the Cavaliers. Defensively, 2 web gems. Offensively, 2 runs scored. And the early advantage to the Cavaliers as the Lions come back out to see if we can neutralize their offense in the top of the second. We will be right back. Welcome back into the broadcast. Leading off in the top half of the second is number 27 for the Cavs, Alana Hernandez. She fouls that straight back. Denver Hogarth ahead early, 0-1.
Let's see if this bottom of the Montreat order can keep it going. If they are able to, I believe she's hitting out of the 8 hole here. Got that top of the order coming back around, kind of lining up perfectly for the offensive side.
I think you're right. One thing in looking, and I know there are a lot of things different about baseball and softball, but a lot of similarities as well, is you like somebody at the bottom of the order. If the 8-9 can get on, it turns your leadoff and your 2-hole into run, not just the on base, girls. It turns them into run producers. So you're looking for the bottom of the lineup. Usually you're not going to hit your crazy statistical leaders there, but you want somebody that could turn the lineup over, give you a chance for that second time through the order that your top, your 1, 2, 3 spots have some girls on to where you can drive some runs in.
Yeah.
And Hernandez looks to do that. The 1-2 pitch, it's going to be, it looks like a changeup on the inside corner, just misses down and in. 2-2. Aubrey Presley gets the sign. That ball's going to be blooped into shallow center, and Hernandez does just that. Able to fight off a 2-2 low and away pitch and deposit it into shallow center, and the Cavs are back in business with another leadoff runner, and that's going to bring up number 25, the DP in today's game, Michaela Reed. May see a bunt here. I'm interested to see. She takes the first pitch. No signs of squaring there. Yeah, you would think, you're in the 9-hole. Maybe get that leadoff Wyatt back up with a runner in scoring position, and she's going to swing. Yeah, they're letting her go. Which, look, if you look up and down the lineup, there are a lot of good offensive numbers.
Right.
As Maddie Lee tracks back into shallow left field to make that play. 1 out, and the order rolls back over to our leadoff number 42, Abby Wyatt.
Wyatt got the party started last inning. See if she can keep going here. Looks like she is slapping, or if I'm not mistaken there. She was headed towards the front of the box as that was delivered.
That should be a double play. It was. Schaefer was able to get her glove underneath that sinking line drive from Wyatt. And it was one of those on top of the ground that's tough to read.
Yep.
Because you don't know if it's going to bounce. And I would assume baseball, it's a tough read, but softball, where your bases are closer, everything's a little tighter, you can't really get caught out in between. You almost have to make a call. Hernandez at first base decided to run straight to second, thought it was going to bounce. It didn't, and Schaefer's able to turn the easy double play to get the Lions back on offense there. After another leadoff base runner. But we will come to the bottom half of the second. Your Lions trail 2-0 to the Montreat Cavaliers. Welcome back in. Maddie Lee steps into the box, leading off the bottom half of the second for your Lady Lions. Batting in the 5-hole, Maddie Lee playing shortstop today, the freshman. She takes a ball in to lead the count off 1-0.
Noticed early here, Carson really going after that inside corner, looking to jam these righties. See if that continues here.
She tries to get back in there, Drew. Good point as Maddie Lee singles through the 5-hole. And I think anytime you perceive or you see the stats for a hitter that looks like they hit for power, a lot of times that's because they get extended. They hit balls a middle away from them very well. So when you think, hey, they've got good numbers, everybody probably tries to stay away a little bit, maybe in fear and trying to preserve them from hitting extra base hits, and then you end up trying to come in. So that is something that you would definitely try Unsuccessful there by Carson to do it as you see her start all speed that misses up and out to Denver Hogriff doing the pitching today. Denver, a senior, has been a mainstay on the mound in the lineup for the Lions for the past few years. She fouls that ball off right on it, but the ball goes straight over the back of our press area here to even the count 1-1. Denver having a great year offensively for the Lions, hitting .317, 4 doubles. Pitched a lot last year. Came back knowing she was going to obviously be one of the main pitchers on the team, but came back rejuvenated offensively and has had an unreal year and is swinging the bat in the middle of the order, doing a great job leading from the front as a senior. Carson misses down with that. And our scoreboard says 3-1. And with the way the game's moving so quickly, I think that's right. I'm used to baseball where it's a little slower, so I feel like I look down and kind of zoom off into space for a little bit, and I've missed 2 or 3 pitches. As that ball is smacked by the first baseman. Yeah. Good job. You're going to see Maddie Lee easily go first to third. And Denver Hogriff, help yourself out. When you're doing the pitching and doing a little bit of the offense too, she's set the lines up nicely here for number 37, the left fielder, Juliana Santillanes. West Coast, best coast. I was encouraged to shout out the California, and I know as I've done some of the soccer games, her brother also a soccer player for the Lions, so I'm familiar. I've butchered Santillanes enough, and so I think I'm over that now. I just went with Santi for him. Maybe I'll start calling her Santi as well, as she takes a strike for the first pitch.
Jordan, I actually had her grandmother all the way from California come up and tell me last year how to pronounce it.
Really?
So, yeah, I got the full experience.
Listen, if they were lined up, maybe in the comments to tell me how bad I'm mispronouncing some names, then that would be probably a lot of comments in the comment section. Juju takes up 1-1, evens the count. The 1-1 count's such a big deal. If you look at statistically with batting average, slugging on base, everything, winning this count is really indicative to success for either side as you see a ball fouled straight back by Juju. If you fall behind, if you ever fall behind in the count, 1-2 is really terrible for a hitter. It's hard to hit any 2-strike count because the obvious swing and miss ends your AB.
Right.
And if you get ahead 2-1 as a hitter, then you got a couple chances to get good swings off. As you see, fastball on the corner. Thought that one might have been a little bit out, but Juju goes down looking for the first out, and that brings up number 99, your DH for the day, Brianna Bumgarner. Bum, as she's known, second-team All-Conference last year, had a great year. It's back for her senior year here, and she smokes that ball down the line, and that's going to score 1. Here comes Denver Hogriff. Denver Hogriff getting the send from Coach Leah Thompson, and she's in safely, and just like that, this game is tied 2-2. What a absolute line drive missile from number 99.
And I mean, what a luxury to have a hitter like her there in the 8-hole. I mean, you look up and down the lineup. You've got Presley batting cleanup, and then you've got somebody who, for all intents and purposes, probably is a cleanup hitter for most teams.
Well, she is the second, almost in the 8-hole, the second cleanup hitter. And we're going to see another one of those in number 44, playing third today, Savannah Schaefer. Having a heck of a true freshman year, she is, and she's going to do the same thing, just pulls that foul, but jumps all over the first pitch. Savannah Schaefer from Mount Juliet, Tennessee, hitting .302, 4 doubles, 2 home runs on the year. Has been, I think, as high as maybe the 3 or 4 hole in some lineups. That's the thing that when you get to some athleticism, when you get some adjustability in your lineup, a lot of different options for Coach Thompson, for both Coach Thompsons. I know Nathan works with the hitters as well as Coach Leah Thompson. You get to move girls around, and you can kind of play the hot hand.
Yeah.
And you get, like you said, with Brianna Bumgarner, a senior in the 8 spot that has been 3-4 her whole career.
Yeah.
As you see, Carson come set and deliver the 0-2 pitch, and that ball is fouled off, pull side, hit a long way as Savannah Schaefer stays alive.
She's looking to lift this. She's looking to lift early and often. I know she's behind 0-2 here, but with a swing like she's got, it only takes that one pitch left out there for her.
It's a good miss there by Carson. As we talked a little bit earlier, how she's thrown 78 innings, only 33 Ks. Well, 34 now, and she struck out Santianas a couple batters ago. But she's going to have to probably go outside the zone to get some swing and miss. And right as I say that, she throws an off-speed pitch down and away. And it was swung and missed by Schaefer. But to get some swing and miss, it's going to be hard if you see the numbers. She's going to have to get these girls to chase to be able to get the swing and miss. It's not stuff in the zone. I would assume she's probably trying to really go after early contact, keep the pitch count down, and so she can, as thrown 78 innings already this year.
We see there, Jordan, something that happened. The catcher kind of delayed throwing that one to first, and it allowed Brianna Bumgardner to get to third, but that doesn't look like it's going to matter anymore as the inning is over. Third baseman catches it.
Yeah, Beard hammered that one right at the third baseman in, which makes my heart skip a beat a little bit. Not used to everything being so close.
Yeah.
And nobody acted like that was a big deal, so I'm going to assume that's routine. I would have been a little worried about it. But the line scored 2 to even it up, 2-2 going here into the top of the third. Welcome back in for the top of the third. Denver Hogarth on the mound for your Lions. As the first pitch is crushed to left field off the middle of the fence by number 12, the two-hole Hernandez. And just like that, after the Lions answer to even this at 2, Hernandez hits the first pitch of the inning deep off the wall for a double. It looks like we're going to be treated to a back and forth ball game. That's what it looks like. Both teams have kind of punched, counter-punch, and back to the Cavs.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a high score here, Jordan. So it's kind of got a loose feel. Some games, whether it's any sport, it's like she took one to the shoulder there. Some games just have that kind of feel where nothing's really particularly going wrong on defense, but the offense is just better.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And as Knight wears that, I think she hit her on her Evo shield on that elbow guard.
Okay.
If not, she's just a way tougher human than I am because she did not act like that hurt at all. We're going to see the 4-hole, number 22, and I believe that is Haley was the first name. It is Haley Fetke. Step in with no outs, runners on first and second. Changeup misses up to even the count 1-1. We mentioned 1-1 being a huge count. You got to hope Denver can get ahead, and she just misses in, which I don't know that she did. We're going to try to remain.
I like that one.
We're going to try to remain slightly unbiased. As if I was umpiring, it would be 1-2. But I am not, and it is 3-1. Advantage Fetke here. As she looks to keep this inning rolling for the Lady Cavaliers. That ball is popped up towards second. That's going to be right fielder Addie Bunty coming in to make the play. Madison Carpenter had stepped out to make it. And the rule is if the outfielder calls the ball, you give way, and that's what she did. Addie Bunty, who's played a little bit everywhere in there. I think she's played both corner outfield spots. Savannah Beard's been pretty much a mainstay in center. and she's probably destined for a Gold Glove out there. So no knock on either of our corner outfielders, because on any other team they could probably play all three positions. But Savannah Beard has really got a hold on that center field position through her graduation here at the end of the year.
Bunty's played a little infield as well. She's not just somebody you can stick in right field. And also for the Lions there, kind of besides a force out, kind of a best case scenario, you get a shallow pop up that holds the runner at second, and now you're at 1 out instead of with 2 people or just 1 runner in scoring position.
And that's going to bring number 0, double 0 on the lineup card. We've got 0. They left 1 off. That's Elizabeth Gergen. She drove in both runners in the first, as she's going to pop one up right over our head here. And that's going to even the count 2-2. So Denver Hogarth right back in the count and 1 strike away from neutralizing hopefully what looked like a really good threat here for the Cavs. See if she can get the second out of the inning. The windup in the pitch, that ball's missiled foul. I believe that was a changeup up in the zone. The hitter was out front. Smoked that thing pull side down the left field line onto the practice soccer field. So we'll reset. Hogarth again with the pitch. Change up, swing and miss. Did we have an interference call? I thought the batter, it was, as we saw Gergen strike out, she obviously can stay in the box, but she can't make any movement to impede the throw, as Presley went to throw the runner out at third, sailed the throw a little bit into left, and the Cavs get a run a little bit of an odd way to take the lead back 3-2.
Pretty solid base running there.
It was.
From Hernandez on, I believe that was Hernandez. He came all the way from second.
That ball's hit deep to center. We just spoke about Savannah Beard. That is a can of corn for her. But the Cavaliers get one to pull back ahead 3-2 as we head to the home half. We'll be right back with you on the Lions Radio Network. Welcome back in to the home half of the third. The Lady Lions will lead off in the 2, 3, 4 spots. Bunty, Callie Green, and Aubrey Presley due up for the Lions to see if we can answer back with that lone run in the top half of the third for the Cavs to retake a 3-2 lead. Addison Bunty singled in the first inning as we see her swing at the first pitch and pull that to the second baseman, number 27, Alana Hernandez. 4-3 ground out, 1 pitch, 1 out for Carson, which we said would probably be her calling card. Yep. Trying to pitch the contact early. Callie Green steps in. Got to think she may be a little patient unless it's something she thinks she can absolutely drive to the gaps for an extra base hit, as she does take a ball down. Good job by Carson to try to extend the zone there, see if she could get another quick out. And good job by Callie Green to take a pitch and get ahead 1-0. Green quickly ahead 2-0 in the count.
It's been Carson's spot, and that's been her miss. She's going after that low inside corner, trying to hit that exact part of the plate. And when she misses, oh well, she just moves on to the next pitch.
She has to have a lot of confidence in the fact as we see a ball smoked. And my goodness, another play. Now, she has no chance to throw Callie Green out, but goodness gracious, Dayton Kell has made a line drive diving snag in the first inning, which arguably wasn't even the best play of the inning. Right. And then she's laid out and made another great play. Now, with how small the field is in the back. Callie Green, man, she is athletic and she can fly. So no chance to get her, but a great play nonetheless. It may have saved a double depending on how quickly Callie gets out of the box. As we see a strike, the low and in strike again, Drew. What I was saying when that pitch was hit is if you're Carson, with the fact you've walked single-digit batters in 78 innings, you have to feel good about nibbling early and not feeling like you have to commit to throwing the ball over the plate to the, especially to the middle of the lineup with the Lions because they've been so good offensively. But she can fall behind and it not be a big deal because she's confident in her ability to get back in the zone as we see her quickly ahead 0-2 to Aubrey Presley. Good job fighting that one off by Aubrey, as she was one of the girls, I believe, that was robbed in that first inning.
Yeah, by Dell.
Yeah.
And Dell, to me, I don't know this for sure, but Dell seems like a taller, longer shortstop than I'm used to primarily seeing when I come down here. I think that's coming handy these for those outs she's made.
It has, yeah. She's done a great job. And look, I've got a roster here. I was going to see where she is from. If she was one of those junior college players.
Let's see.
Dayton Kell, from Spokane Falls Community College, originally from Omaha, Nebraska. So spent some time up in the Northwest in the NWAC conference. I doubt it's the same for softball, but the one thing that's crazy is I believe only one of 2 junior college conferences with baseball that uses wood bats. So,
really?
Offensively, the numbers are usually way down in the NWAC when you look at them. But if you ever get a guy from there, you're like, man, this guy's probably going to hit for a lot of power because he's pro prospect and has the ability. I've seen guys that, like, hit 1 home run in junior college, and then you're like, man, this guy's got 15 home runs, but he was hitting with wood.
That's awesome.
So I would assume that I don't know that I've ever heard of softball using wood bats, so I'm assuming they don't. But nonetheless, we've got Maddie Lee stepping in with 2 outs and a runner at first. Callie Green is that runner, so any ball that's hit that splits the outfield should give her a chance to score. Maddie Lee hammers a ball to third. What a play, and the Cavs keep it up on defense. Number 34, Jasmine Rochelle, with the stab on the outside of her body to keep this lead 3-2 for the Cavs as we go into the 4th. The pace of play here is on fire. We will be back with you shortly on the Lions Radio Network. Leading off the top half of the 4th is the shortstop, who's been talked about a lot on the broadcast so far. Number 1, Dayton Kell. She takes strike 1. You can hear the dugout chanting, "Let's go Dayton." So they're going to have to come up with some defensive chants for her if she keeps playing, and she's going to lace that ball into left center gap, see if we can cut it off. Good job by Santianes there to cut off that ball and keep it at a single.
Perfectly in the middle there. Just split both fielders, put it in not too deep to where one of them can make a play on the ball. Well done from the leadoff.
That is another leadoff base runner, I think, and I'm not keeping a book, so Josh Muncy would be very sad that we're not keeping a book here in the broadcast booth, but you're going to see a sac bunt by number 27, Alana Hernandez, to move Kell to second base. I believe that's 4 straight innings, and they have the leadoff runner on in all 4 innings. It's for sure 3.
Yeah, 3, yeah.
But I think it may have been 4. That's going to bring up the DP hitting in the 9 spot, number 25, Michaela Reed. Reed, we questioned that was maybe she was going to bunt last time. She didn't. Coach
Right.
Corbin Weeks let her swing away. She popped the ball up to shallow left. But you're seeing a lot of aggressive swings by this Cavaliers team, and they believe in themselves offensively. And, I mean, to be honest with you, where I work with hitters, and 314 with a 461 slugging and a 400 on base, not too shabby offensively.
And you can see she's got one of those big, like, make or miss swings. I mean, she's really, really going for it, and she's even able to extend the hand. She's chased a few pitches away here. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you see her, even if it makes sense for her to bunt, just to swing at everything.
You see, yep, they went back away. Coach Thompson sees the same thing you're seeing as she went the 0-2 ball off the plate, and she good take there, but the 1-2 just a little bit more on the dish and gets a fly out to Santianas and left for the second out of the inning. That's back to the top for the third AB for your right fielder for the Cavs, number 42, Abby Wyatt. Abby Wyatt takes strike on the outside corner. Very well located pitch by Denver Hogref. Abby Wyatt, a freshman from Old Fort, North Carolina. So we talked about the junior college transfers on this team, which I know they have a lot, but entrusting the leadoff duty to a freshman bodes well for Montreat in the future to have a freshman that you feel comfortable putting in there. She chops the ball to Maddie Lee. She's going to beat that out, shows her speed. And that's going to be a infield single for the leadoff hitter, Abby Wyatt. First and third, 2 outs here.
That's why you lead off with a slapper right there.
That's true. And I think as soon as that ball makes Maddie Lee come in, she had to worry about the base runner. A lot of different things in play there. But nonetheless, Wyatt singles, and that's going to bring up Hernandez, number 12, playing center field. So you have to assume she's also a speedster. When you got playing center field, doing the duty out there, you got to think that she is one of the more fleet of foot players for Coach Weeks and the Cavs. Hernandez is a senior from Daytona State College, so led off with a freshman, junior college transfer right behind her. She's hitting 388 on the year with 6 doubles, 3 triples, and 8 home runs. So definitely probably the best slugging.
You said 3 triples?
3 triples and 8 home runs. So speed we were on, but also, I mean, a ton of power. Leads the team in home runs. They've hit 22 home runs. She has a third of them, over a third of them. And so this is maybe why Coach Leah Thompson went out to talk to her senior pitcher, Denver Hogref, to make sure that the plan is correct on how they're going to attack Hernandez here, with her being really the biggest threat for the Cavs. We're going to see a ball just misses high and in.
You can correct me if I'm wrong here, Jordan. You probably send this runner from first, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what she is on the year. Let me check. She is 14 for 16. So, yeah, you feel good about it. I think with having Hernandez be your primary slugger, you probably wait till a 2-strike count. You kind of give her, make sure she's getting a chance to get her swings off. She does get a swing off. That's grounded to Maddie Lee. Maddie Lee's going to step and throw across to Callie Green and threat neutralized. The Lions are able to pitch around to 2 base runners, and the Cavs leave girls on first and third as we go to the bottom half of the 4th. The Lions trail 3-2. We'll be right back. We're back live as you see the throwdown from Elizabeth Gergen. The ball's going to cycle around the infield and get back to Carson as she prepares to go and pitch to the pitcher for today's contest. Pitcher versus pitcher here. We don't get this in baseball a lot, so this is interesting. You get a little bit of that. Denver Hogref steps in. She had a line drive single last AB to right field. She's going to take a ball down. Carson attacking bottom part of the zone. As always, that seems to be her MO.
It makes sense with her low strikeout count. Doesn't seem like she's throwing with a ton of velocity. Obviously, you see one come there, bad hop at short.
Denver Hogarth beats it out. And, yeah, Kel did a good job to keep that in front of her. That ball was hammered, but with what she's shown us so far today, you almost thought it was automatic when it got hit there. And she does show us that she is human, but good job keeping that in front, because if that gets through, that's easily, with as hard as that ball was hit, easily to the gap. Denver may have a chance at second. That's going to bring up number 37, Juliana Santillanes, who squares to bunt. And we have both the first and third baseman crashing, so you have to think that means the second baseman's got to cover the bag. They're probably giving up second base. We'll see if the shortstop, I guess she would have to cover second. Is that going to go foul?
That was very, very close.
Yeah, and something I guess it's different. She has to hold her ground with a slapper, which is not something I would think about there. But Kel at short has to hold her ground, so they're crashing the third and first baseman.
Yep.
Which means the second baseman has to cover the bag, which means there's no way they're getting Denver Hogarth at second because they're not even occupying the bag. So, shortstop's going there late, but she has to hold her ground a bit as Juju takes down to go ahead in the count 2-1. We talked about that 1-1 count being a big deal. Juju getting a chance, 2 chances now to get the job done as she's going to bunt. That ball's going to foul straight back here off the backstop, 2-2. And now we'll see what Coach Thompson wants to do. Does she want to keep the bunt on and risk a foul ball bunt strikeout? Does she want to go back to slapping, which would probably be kind of the hybrid alternative?
Yeah.
I would assume that's what she's going to do.
I think Montreat's anticipating that. They're fielders. Now they move in. But, yeah, they go to the slap.
And she grounds out to the pitcher. Carson flips back to Kel at short. So not able to move the runner up. But the solace in that is now we have Juliana Santillanes at first, who is one of our stolen base threats.
Yeah.
She has been, she's stolen 5. She's 5 of 7 on the year, but very, very quick. You would have to think that she's wanting to move in this AB, especially with Bumgarner at the plate, who laced the ball last time down the left field line. As she quickly gets ahead 1-0 in the dish here, at the dish. Ball taken high. That's 2-0.
See Carson come with some velocity
She
there
did.
on the upper right side.
Yeah, she looked like she kind of tried to put some giddy up on that one and misses the zone.
Yeah.
Now she's really got to make a pitch, as Bumgarner crushed one last time and is ahead 2-0. She's going to look to get something pull side here and just pulls one down the third baseline, just foul.
See, Carson just goes to her pitch there. She's obviously trying to pitch around Bumgarner. It doesn't work, and she goes to what she knows and gets the foul tip, gets back into the count.
Carson with the wind and the pitch to Bumgarner. That ball is hit high and relatively deep into center, but easily playable for Hernandez, and she's going to secure that for the second out of the inning. So what looked like could be a leadoff base runner and maybe a threatening inning for the Lions is looking a little more grim here, but Savannah Schaefer in the 9-hole, and we spoke to her offensive ability earlier. She could easily run a ball out of this park and give the Lions the lead here with 2 outs, easily score the runner from first as well. And there's that stolen base we talked about. Santillanes is in safe on the throw from Gergen.
Job there. Santillanes with an early slide, it looked like, and I think that was the difference.
I think it almost like she got stuck a little bit, but she did have to slide away from the tag. Nonetheless, a big stolen base to get her in scoring position. You'd have to think she's an automatic send on a hit here. Anything to the outfield is going to score her. That's a good job taking that pitch to be ahead. Back-to-back hitters ahead 2-0 for the Lions, which that's going to prompt a visit from head coach Corbin Weeks, which I understand that. You base open, you're kind of talking through. We already mentioned Schaefer is not your typical 9-hole hitter. So Coach Weeks thinks he needs to go out and talk through at least the plan here. and we'll see how he chooses to attack, how Carson chooses to attack Schaefer with the bag open.
Yeah. It's one of the fun things about softball, Jordan, that I've really enjoyed since I started watching last year. I feel like in baseball, a lot of guys get hung up at third just because, the base path is a real factor. It's that 90 feet. And with softball, there's just certain girls that if the ball gets in the outfield that you can pretty much count on them to score, and it produces a lot more offense that way.
Yeah, it's just so much more fast-paced,
Yeah.
and that's something I'm seeing. I've been around the game and being here at Bryan for so long, but not many times do I get to sit back, especially in this position, and watch and really be glued in. A lot of times I'm working on my social life out in the outfield or eating, a lot of eating during the softball games. But
that's important.
Back here you get to really see how quick the game is, and the pace of play is so much different than baseball. And we talked about some similarities, and that is probably the most different, I think, is just the absolute pace of play. We have a pitch clock now that's in place that's 20 seconds, and but this feels like there's just 3 seconds. They're getting the ball back there on the mound, and we see a ball pulled to Kell. Kell able to make a play, throws across, and retires Schaefer. So leadoff base runner, no problem for Carson as she works around it to maintain the Cavs lead 3-2 as we head to the top half of the fifth. The Lions looking to try to get back in this one. 3-2 Cavaliers. We'll be right back. We are back. Denver Hogarth back on the mound for the Lady Lions. Pitching to number 40, the 3-hole hitter, Maggie Knight. Maggie Knight, 368, 12 doubles, 2 home runs on the year. She is having a fantastic season, playing the first base for the Cavs today. As Denver falls behind 2-0, and you're not wanting to do that with somebody that has the numbers that she has. Maggie Knight, a junior from Chattanooga State Community College, but originally from Robbinsville, North Carolina. So she's been down in this area for her 2 years in junior college, but now back home in North Carolina, and she's quickly walked on 4 straight pitches by Denver Hogarth, and that's another leadoff base runner for the Cavs, which has been unconfirmed 5 for 5, but positively 4 or 5.
Yeah. I'll say a silver lining there, Jordan, is at least you only took 4 pitches to put your first person on. You didn't get super high in the pitch count as the bunt works to perfection there.
Yeah, Haley Fettke lays down a beauty, and that's something else they've done is you see the multifaceted offense there for the Cavs. You've got a lot of girls that are able to slug, a lot of extra base hits on this team, but then turn around, play the small ball. That's the second bunt laid down. That was really, honestly, a very, very good bunt down the third base line. Tough for Denver Hogarth to handle, and they're going to do it again, and that ball is going to come up and hit number 00 Elizabeth Gergen in the box for a foul ball. But I kind of understand that if you're head coach Corbin Weeks, as he flashes his number system there on a wristband, so he's flashed 3-1-1 for anybody that's chalking them up at home. 3-1-1 is a sack bunt because she squared around again. She's going to foul that one straight back. And that's probably going to take the sack bunt off. But
yeah, you'd think so. I mean, maybe not.
I mean, look, I'm kind of the guy that if you want to bunt them, I'll bunt. It's a different game. I sometimes, depending on the bunter and how much you have, how much respect you have for them as a bunter, you may keep it on. But as we see Elizabeth swinging away there, as Denver Hogarth trying to needs a big strikeout. That's what we need right here. Or ground ball double play. That'd be nice too. Or anything.
Take anything that stops that runner from getting to – that'll do it.
And that might do it as Savannah Schaefer, right, double play. We said ground ball double play, but we'll take line drive off the palm of her mitt, pops up. She's able to corral it and throw a strike to Madison Carpenter. So not the double play how we thought we were going to get it, but a double play nonetheless. And Lions fans aren't upset with that one as now we look to get out of this inning quickly, which what looked like it could have been a long inning, is erased with that double play by Savannah Schaefer on the line drive 5-4 double play. So Denver Hoger falls behind here 1-0 as she tries to escape this inning really unscathed. You get a changeup, that ball's hit up the middle. What a play by Carpenter, and she flips to Maddie Lee in an inning that looked like the Cavs might be able to take a bit of a swing in momentum. Is quickly, honestly, turned around, and though we're down 1 run, you feel like that might be the spark that gets the Lions going as we head to the home half of the 5th. Lady Lions trail 3-2, and we'll try to get it back going here in just a moment on the Lions Radio Network. Welcome back in. The top half of the order and your leadoff, number 10, Savannah Schaefer, as trying to get the Lions back in this thing as we trail by 1 run. We knew this would be a competitive game. We said the 3 and the 6 seeds as it currently stands in the AAC, but both looking like they have chances to maybe get up into those top 2 spots for sure. And you're going to see Schaefer hit a ground ball pull side, and Hernandez fielded it really close to the bag, tried to glove flip, and I don't think she could get it out of her glove. Honestly thought, and I don't know that this could even be a thing, but she would just step on first herself. But we'll take it how we get it, and especially with the speed and athleticism of Savannah Beard.
And I think that's what caused the glove flip, is she didn't want to take the risk of her being safe, taking the time to transfer it from her glove to her hand. And we're going to get her on base.
Yeah, we're going to get a bunt. Bunty is moving, and my goodness, just like if you wanted something to happen offensively and you needed a run, the top of our order is so dynamic. They can beat you in so many different ways. We may even see a double steal here. And here's the thing that's crazy. It's a different build and a different profile because Callie can hit for so much power. But her ability to bunt, I think, is probably one of the top on the team. And you're going to see Coach Weeks come out and try to calm down his pitcher and his defense. Maybe he is going to the pen, and he is. Haley Carson is going to finish her day. She pitched into the 5th, but 4 innings, and she's allowed 2 earned runs, but she is responsible for the 2 runners on base. So. She did a good job. She did a really good job. And I think you have to think with facing an offense like the Lions have, she went into the 5th, and she only gave up 2 runs, and she left with a lead, which is all you can really ask for in that scenario. And we're going to get a new pitcher, and we'll try to get the number to you and the name, and that's number 17, Victoria Alcantar. So Victoria Alcantar on the mound replacing Haley Carson, but a good job by Haley Carson nonetheless. And she passes the ball to Alcantar to see if she can get out of this inning. Carson currently the pitcher of record. If the Cavs can get out with a lead, she will be in line for the win. Which in this this kind of game, when you're talking about 2 teams at the top of the league, she's done her job, and now you got to depend on the bullpen here to get it done.
And Alcantraz, she's not coming in completely stone cold. This is not a knee-jerk pull or anything. She's been warming up for about the last inning and a half. She's been up there on the softball bullpen, which would be considered the practice field. She should come in here firing. One other thing that that you see out here is a lot of the times the pitcher will come, walk off the mound and walk back onto the field.
Yeah.
At a skill position.
You get a lot of two ways.
But Carson didn't do that.
She didn't. Victoria Alcantara, senior righty from Apple Valley, California, Antelope Valley College, which there is an Antelope Valley Junior College in California. There was also an Antelope Valley, an NAIA school, I think, that athletically shut down, or at least they don't have athletics anymore. I'm not sure if the school was closed or what. But nonetheless, Alcantara on here, runners at first and second, no outs for the Lions. Callie Green is going to square to bunt. That ball hit her in the box for a foul ball. We just said that she is a good bunter, and not surprised at all by her ability to lay one down. You don't see that a lot out of the three-hole, but the versatility, again, and the speed of what we have on the bases, you might see a double steal. We might see another bunt. We might see Callie swing away. As we do see a bunt, she gets it down. That's a great job, and look at that speed. And, again, the athleticism of the top half of the lineup, and the Lions are in business with really a chopper that puts some pressure on the defense and back-to-back bunts. So really nothing in the inning for the Lions in terms of hitting a ball hard, but your bases loaded, no outs, and nobody else you would rather have up right now than Aubrey Presley.
No, you wouldn't.
This is exactly why you put her in the four-hole.
Yeah.
So you go, hey, if the top three get on.
Right. You've lined it up perfectly.
We've lined it up perfectly to get Aubrey up, as she is our best hitter. And she's going to hammer that ball deep to left center field. It's going back, and it's gone. You can't ride it up any better. Aubrey Presley with a grand slam. And somehow my son is in the huddle on the field.
Nice.
We don't know how that happened, but
slammy.
Aubrey Presley with her fifth home run of the year, and the Lions are pumped up. 6-3 lead for the Lions, and the worst thing for the Cavaliers is there's still no outs in the inning.
Yeah.
And Maddie Lee, the five-hole hitter, is up. So, my goodness, Drew, we said infield single, bunt. Nobody had hit a ball hard, and I couldn't even get that out of my mouth before Aubrey Presley hit one halfway to Stoffel. So, we are now in the lead 6-3. And nobody happier than my son, Kyrie, who was in the huddle. Yeah. Probably also nobody happier than the on-deck hitter, Denver Hogriff, who now has the first lead of the ball game for herself as she looks to try to get it going as Maddie Lee steps back in. And the thing you have to do here is almost turn it right back into a leadoff spot.
Yep.
You got to try to keep your foot, on the gas pedal here. Right. Maddie takes the pitch to get ahead in the count, because the worst thing for Montreat is, man, you still got to get 3 more outs. So let's see how tough the Lady Lions can make that on this defense of the Cavaliers as Maddie Lee uncorks the ball deep left field pull side. As I think she was trying to join Aubrey Presley in the grassy hill out there in front of Stoffel.
Yeah. Well, a tough spot for this Montreat reliever. I'm sorry, I don't want to mispronounce her. Alcantara.
It is. I think it is just Alcantara. Yep. Alcantara.
Yeah, tough spot for her. She kind of walked into a buzzsaw there, in all honesty. But, I mean, that's what she was called on to do, and unfortunately it just didn't go her way.
You see a ball popped up the shallow center. I thought the wind might knock that down, but Maddie Lee flies out to the center fielder, Hernandez, and that's going to be the first out of the inning and a much-needed out for the Cavaliers. But, yeah, I think, when you come in out of the bullpen, that is part of the job. Yep. But, you like to come in and clean innings, and you have to come in sometimes with runners on first and second, facing the 3-hole of one of the better offenses in the conference. And, that's a tough job by her, and she unfortunately gives up unfortunately for her, as we see another diving play. But fortunately for us, Aubrey Presley runs one out of the yard. But we see a great play right there by the right fielder, number 42, Abby Wyatt, the freshman, making a play defensively. So really a good job, honestly, by Alcantara and the defense here to take that punch of the grand slam, but to get right back at it and get 2 quick outs. And we're going to see.
Hey, you obviously not prefer to give up the grand slam, but all things considered for Montreat, a pretty good reset of the inning here, and something that you can take with you to the 6th. It's not all doom and gloom.
Yeah, you've kind of done a good job of neutralizing some of that momentum, as obviously a no-out grand slam that takes the lead in any game is going to be a tough pill to swallow. But good job resetting, getting back in, and giving themselves a chance to stay in the ball game, because I've seen it the other way too, where you just kind of snowball and nobody stops that momentum, and it ends up being out of reach. As we see a strike taken by Juju Santillanes to go behind in the count 1-2. Earlier in the game, they attacked Juju on the outside corner. She struck out looking on one. I assume they may try to go back out away from her, and they missed in. That ball's going to drop with some backspin. You will never throw her out right there. Infield single by Juju. As she shakes her head, she's laughing with Coach Nathan Thompson at first. And so, I coach first. I tell our guys, I don't care how you get here as long as you get here.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and that's the way softball is, the way baseball is. Sometimes you hit hard, you line out, and sometimes you get a little backspin chopper there, and you're fast enough to beat it out. So you got to think she's going to look to run here. She stole her last AB. We're going to see strike one taken on the inner half to Brianna Bumgarner. But I'd have to think that Coach Thompson will put her in motion, really, because you're trying to keep that foot on the gas. I think maybe this pitch she's going to be in motion, and she is, and that ball is skied to left field. If it's catchable, I can't imagine they don't make a play. Really good job by number 22, Fetke there. She dove into the fence in the first inning and made a web gem. And
she was
worth
trying to avoid that hard pole that time.
Yeah, she's become accustomed to the left field fence there. And it was of note there, Juju was moving on the pitch. I don't expect anything to change. Obviously, 0-2 may see a pitch out or something to try to keep her from running, but you probably think that she's back in motion, and she wasn't, as that ball's fouled back off over our head as Bum stays alive. 0-2, 2 outs here. The Lions have regained the lead on a grand slam by Aubrey Presley. It's 6-3 Lions here in the bottom of the fifth. The 0-2 pitch from Alcantara. She misses high.
Kind of in one of those at-bats here, Jordan, if you can get anything out of it, it feels like stealing. Like you've executed the grand slam, but now on the back end, if you can just steal one or two more, you gotta love it.
Yeah, we see Juju moving. Good throw. And she's thrown out. Really good job right there by Gergen. And I've got to look back at that pronunciation guide because that just feels like I'm saying that wrong. And
yeah, that was an excellent throw. Honestly, just a really nice positioning and tag by the shortstop Dell. But we are going to step away, take a short break, and be back for the top of the sixth. And I believe we got a pitching change, so we'll be back on the Lions Radio Network. And welcome back in. Jordan was confirming something for one of our audience members, so I'm leading it back in. And I believe we have a pitching change here. Number 8, Maddie Lee, sliding over from shortstop into the pitcher circle. And Jordan's back, so he's going to ride with you for the rest of the inning.
yeah, we've got some defensive alignment changes, which, like you said earlier, sometimes you move from the mound and you go back out on defense, and that's what Denver Hoger's going to do. She's going to slide to second base with Maddie Lee coming to the mound and Madison Carpenter going to short. As you see Maddie miss low and in, 1-1 on the count here to the shortstop, Dayton Kell, hitting in the 7-hole for the line. So really a good spot of the order for Maddie Lee to try to get kind of ease into this game in the top half of the sixth as she sees 7, 8, 9, which with what we've seen from Montreat doesn't really mean much because they have done such a good job at the bottom of the order. But Maddie Lee able to win that 1-2 count. And here's the pitch. It's going to be a ground ball to third. Savannah Schaefer on top of that, flips over across for the 5-3 put out. Good play by Shafe. She's been good at third, man. She's moved around. If you've watched the Lady Lions this year, she's a little bit behind the dish. She's sometimes at first, sometimes at third. She can do it all. And it's been what we've seen from the Lions this year is a wonderful recruiting class by Coach Nathan and Coach Leah Thompson. And I say Nathan first because I think he handles a lot of the recruiting duties. As we see a ball popped up into first base foul territory. Easy work for Callie Green and 2 quick outs for Maddie Lee, which is just what you want after you take a 3-run lead on a grand slam.
Yeah.
In the bottom half is to come out and get 2 quick outs. That's going to bring up number 25, the 9-hole. Your DP today, that is Michaela Reed. Reed, we said, has swung away, not played any small ball out of the 9-hole as we see a first pitch that just misses on the corner. Good job by Maddie Lee. That's a pretty good spot as she tries to establish that outside corner to the lefty, Reed.
Mentioned Savannah. I think we'll see her behind the plate in the second game of this doubleheader, which will be right here on YouTube.com. It'll be its own separate thing, but whenever they start that game, it'll be live.
That ball's going to be hit out to left field. That's Juju out there. Easy work, 1-2-3, Maddie Lee. As just like the doctor ordered, a 1-2-3 inning after they take the lead. We will go to the bottom half of the 6th, looking to extend a 6-3 lead. We'll be back shortly on the Lions Radio Network. Welcome back into the broadcast. We're going to have a pitching change for the Cavaliers. Now on the mound, number 16, Mackenzie Flores. She's going to face Brianna Bumgarner, who was the batter at the end of last inning. Is she going to look to bloop a ball in? My goodness gracious, what a play. Number 27, Alana Hernandez with a unreal defensive play. And I feel like I've said that. I need to just record it and play it on a loop.
Yeah.
Our producer here, Chase Green, can just hit a button so I don't have to speak. That the Cavs have made another web gem. Hernandez is going to take a second to, I think, catch her breath. That ball was kind of flipped out into shallow right field. She was able to run back and make an over-the-shoulder diving catch, and now thought she may have been hurt, but
I think she ripped something.
She ripped her pants. Yeah, that's what it is. So there's a lot of laughs out there. So she's ripped her pants down at her left knee. I don't think it's anything too crazy revealing, but the Cavs are having a good laugh about it on the mound. And shout out to her because those pants died a hero on a really good play to rob Brianna Bumgarner of a single. And what I was mentioning before she put that ball in play is she was up to bat to end the last inning, but Santianas was thrown out attempting to steal second by Gergen. And so we'll probably have a slight delay here in the game as Hernandez has to hit the equipment bag to see if they have another pair of pants, which worries me for our baseball trips that I don't know that we have a bag with empty pants. So I assume that it would be, we travel too many guys anyway. Some bullpen guy would be giving up a pair of pants.
Yeah.
Or, well, I'll tell you who would probably actually guaranteed to give up their pants is Cody Reinhardt because he'd rather be in shorts. Coach Cody Reinhardt wanted to wear shorts. He's been petitioning for that, which is one thing that makes me jealous of Coach Nathan Thompson is he gets to look so good out there in his
bright yellow shorts. Yeah. It's
a great day today. He's got a good-looking top on. And you see the lines again. If you've tuned in to the broadcast throughout the year, you'll see the Lady Lions wearing a lot of the yellow at home. And if you're wondering, they do have a lot more jerseys, but Coach Leah Thompson, very superstitious. If you follow the Instagram as well, I think they had a little Q&A live yesterday, and they asked who the most superstitious was, and the account replied back with a picture of Coach Leah Thompson, which, if you know her at all, is not. I would say that's an understatement that she's superstitious. So you see the Lady Lions, who have been really, really good at home on the year, 11-1. I think we just dropped the game last week, actually, to Campbellsville, who's receiving votes. So a really good team, but. We've been rocking the gold all year because Coach Thompson's superstition, and I'm sure a lot of girls in that dugout are superstitious too. We have to deal with that on the baseball side of things too. You know, it starts out where you can't step on the line, and then all of a sudden you're lacing your shoes the same, and you're wearing the same shirt and the same hat, and you park in the same spot. It just becomes this whole thing. But our delay is over. 1 out for the new pitcher, Mackenzie Flores, and she's going to face the 9-hole third baseman, Savannah Schaefer. Usually does most of the talking with her bat, but today she has done a lot of talking with the leather out there at third base, made a couple really good plays, playing a flawless game of defense as she gets ahead quickly, 1-0. Flores looks to even the count here as she gets her sign from Gergen. The windup in the pitch. That's going to be a strike on the outer half to even the count at 1-1.
If you're a Cavalier fan here today, I don't think you're too upset. I know you're behind 3 runs, but the gloves have been hot. I mean, the bats have been hot as well. It's just, you're a grand slam away from me having the lead in this one.
If you honestly take that away, it's hard to say take away a grand slam. But if you look at the game, it's been very evenly played, and they have honestly had a lot of the momentum until that. It's like we talked about that double play to get us out of that Denver Hogarth got the line drive double play to Schaefer as Schaefer hits a ball to second. And new pair of pants, no problem for number 27, Hernandez, as she is able to convert the out 4-3. But we had that momentum where we kind of grabbed some on defense, and you felt like, hey, this is a really big deal for us to get out of the inning. And you roll it over to the top half of the order, and you get infield single, bunt, and all of a sudden Aubrey Presley's in the box with nobody out, and you're going, oh, my goodness, how did we get here?
Right.
And she did what she's done all year, and she's constantly delivered. And very even game. It feels a lot closer than the 6-3 score line. And back to the top of that order right here, and you see how quickly it can happen. There's 2 outs, but the Lions can get a couple runners on. You never know as Savannah Beard steps back in, leads the count 1-0. She's going to hit a chopper to first, and that couldn't have been hit any better for the Cavaliers. Right at number 40. Knight, she's able to step on at 3 unassisted, and that's going to take us to the top of the 7th. We'll see Maddie Lee back out on the mound after our break to see if she can close out this ball game on the Lions Radio Network. Welcome back in. Top of the 7th inning, Maddie Lee back on the mound for her 2nd inning in relief. She's going to pitch to the top of the order, number 42, Abby Wyatt, the right fielder who's had a pretty good offensive game. As Maddie Lee, 3 up, 3 down last inning, looks to close out this ball game in game 1 of the doubleheader for your hometown Lady Lions as she leads 6-3, gets ahead quickly with a foul ball to Wyatt. She's got to work through the top of this order, which is a very, very potent offensive team. She misses outside. Wyatt evens the count 1-1.
So is the pressure now, Jordan, more on the hitters, or is it more on the pitchers? The desperation from the hitters to get back in front, or kind of the nerves from the pitcher to finish it.
I would say, depending on years past, I would probably say it's a little more on the defense, but I think this team has won so much this year that they probably feel like this is a situation they should be in. But that first out is always tough. You really feel like if you can get the first one, then it stops a lot of the momentum. I think right here I'd say you feel more pressure defensively as probably until you get the first out, and then it makes it, feel like you feel a little bit better about the situation. As she dots an outside pitch on the corner, and I think that was a little bit off the dish.
Yeah.
But you know what? I am not complaining whatsoever because we are in a results-driven business, and if that's a ball, we say, hey, good spot for her, and then she took it and she got rung up. So the first out that we talked about being the toughest, she's got it. Stepping in is the best offensive player for the Cavs, Hernandez, and that ball's going to hit her on the left knee.
Maybe a little bit ball don't lie there.
Yeah, maybe so. And I think what you're really worried about, or say worried, the thing, you're not nervous until the tying run gets to the plate. When the tying run gets to the plate, you have to do some things defensively. You kind of go into a little bit deeper no double set where you're trying not, you don't want that tying run in scoring position like you mentioned earlier, Drew. It's a lot more action, a lot more scoring. So if that girl gets to second, you really feel like she's going to score. So you would probably see here if Knight's able to get on, you'll see the defense probably hug the lines a little more. You don't want a ball getting down the line. And you'll have your girls in the outfield a little bit deeper. As that looks like maybe the same pitch that he rung wide up on earlier.
Looked better.
And he balls it there. So 2-0 to the three-hole hitter, Maggie Knight, one of the top offensive bats in the league, as she fouls that ball off right to the on-deck circle in front of the Cavs dugout. Maddie Lee looks to even this count up. Lions lead 6-3 here in the top of the seventh. 2-1 count. Maddie Lee on the mound as she wind up in the pitch. And that's going to be a strike taken. I don't know what that – I'm going to guess change up. I don't know all the pitches in softball, so forgive me for not knowing everything. But that was very slow, a lot slower than the other one, and a perfect placement as she gets back in this 2-2. And then another ball that's close. I don't know. It's a little bit of a coin flip on that low and away pitch right now. But the count nonetheless runs 3-2. Big pitch here for Maddie Lee. As she gets a swing, we're going to check it. Did she go? Absolutely she did.
Nice check there.
That was a very good check because the reality is the home plate umpire there has to watch the pitch. So a lot of times you, as a fan and as a coach, I've been in the dugout a lot of times. I sit with actually a coach that questions a lot of calls.
Yeah.
His name is Clint McCauley. And he, go, how do you miss that? But his primary read there is the pitch. So good job checking. In a two-man crew, that's not an easy call when you're out there at second either, but a good job by our umpiring crew as she did swing.
And your Montreat's coach very upset, but from back here, Jordan, we're only a few feet away. I thought she broke that plane.
She did, and I think we were trying to be as unbiased as we can. Obviously, we're Lions fans here in the booth, but I thought the first pitch in the inning that they rung up wide on was a ball, but I do think she went there, and I think it was the correct call as Maddie Lee is up 0-2, 2 outs here, trying to close this game out. Fetke at the plate, the pitch. That ball's going to be driven down the right field line. Addie Bunty tracking. She makes a play, and that is going to do it. Maddie Lee does the job, closing out the game for the Lady Lions. Denver Hogriff with the win, and the Lady Lions behind the bat of Aubrey Presley win game 1 6-3 over the Montreat Cavaliers. We'll be back with you shortly on a different link. If you're on YouTube, make sure you click the link for game 2, and we will be back probably 10 minutes prior to game time to take you around the horn. Lady Lions win game 1 6-3. We'll be back shortly.